It appears to be Caitlin Clark is being forced by Team USA to alter her famous, notorious number 22 to a fresh one. Actually, Team USA made a choice with basketball. Fans who are incredibly enraged. Instead of asking, they are pressuring. Caitlin Clark will part with her renowned number 22. Additionally, we're discussing the number that she has worn with pride throughout her illustrious time at college and her entire tenure in the WNBA thus far. The backlash. Oh, you'd better think it's harsh and instantaneous. And correct. Team USA may now be realizing they have trod on the largest landmine for women's basketball as a whole. Prior to delving deeply into this absolute disastrous PR strategy, I want you to leave a comment now. Should Caitlin have been let to retain her number 22? No inquiries, or is this simply the how does Team USA function? An issue of customs over celebrity status. Due to, believe me, after what I'm going to reveal, you might have a change of heart. Moreover, genuine, she was snubbed from the cover of Team USA, and not only is they snubbing her, the disrespect is continuing because it's looking like Team USA is forcing Caitlin Clark to change her number. Okay, so the formal announcement has arrived out, and we must discuss what recently transpired, because this is one of those circumstances where you must pause and consider whether a single individual at the headquarters of Team USA truly considered this whole thing. For longer than 5 seconds, Caitlin, without a doubt, Clark is the biggest name in women's basketball at the moment. The lone participant who has generated many millions of new supporters of the sport are compelled to alter her phone number just for Team USA, a camp for training. I want to be clear, she was not questioned. There was no choice for her. They told her that she was coerced. Additionally, the number that she is being forced to change, up to 17. Yes, you did hear me correctly. 7, a figure that has no significance at all. To her. To her millions of fans, nothing. And nothing at all to the amazing. She is creating a legacy in front of our eyes. Yeah, honestly, I'm not a very creative person. I was born on January 22nd, so it's what I went with when I was about 5 years. Before we delve any deeper into this mess, let's make a point. Quite crucial in this situation, right? Right now, the number 22 of Caitlin Clark isn't simply a jersey with a random set of numbers on it. It's a brand. It is now an identity. It is the number that she was wearing when she broke Pete Maravik's total college points ever. Document. A transcendent moment. Athletics. She wore the number while she valiantly guided Iowa to consecutive games in the national championship versus all odds. It's the number she wore when her whole time in college, which changed her from a gifted athlete, becoming a well-known brand, a cultural phenomenon, and naturally, it's the number that she has been sporting with the Indiana Fever as she persists in rule and establish records in the ranks of professionals. That number, 22, is now as identifiable and equivalent to excellence in women's basketball because the number 23 is in men's basketball. It's that easy. You observe A on a women's basketball jersey, number 22. Share your thoughts right now without A. The second thought goes directly to Caitlin Clark. That isn't a viewpoint. That's just a cold, hard fact. Case to be made that Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark, number 22, is the most recognizable number in women's sports right now. There is no argument to be made. There's no case to be made. Caitlin Clark, number 22, is the most recognizable number. However, apparently, Team USA is over. The memo was not received by headquarters. Even worse, they received the memo. After reading it, simply concluded they didn't give a damn, because when the official roster was revealed for the training camp scheduled for December in North, it was printed in black there, Carolina, and white for everyone to see. Number 17, Not 22, but Caitlin Clark, 17. And in that instant, the basketball community as a whole lost their mentality. And this is where the situation becomes even more absurd, when you view the complete roster for this. Guess we'll discover our training camp. No one else is sporting a number 22nd. The amount is literally entirely accessible. It's not as though Wilson is on number 22 on this particular roster, and they had to make a difficult decision between two elite athletes. It's not like there was a seasoned veteran, a member of Team USA who has been wearing 22, has seniority and has been around for decades. The number is simply sitting there, underused, gathering dust. Additionally, they continue to force Caitlin to change. Make that now make sense. Oh, hold on. The sole rational justification that anyone, and I mean anyone, can think of a team. The United States has some sort of arbitrary governmental regulation about numbers, assignments according to seniority or prior experience with Team USA, or some additional red tape bullshit that puts antiquated customs ahead of fundamental common sense. And you know what? That's the exact type of tone-deaf, that out-of-touch mentality that continuously brings big businesses into deep trouble, because when they're seated over there giving themselves a pat on the back for carefully adhering to the guidelines in their manual, they are totally lacking the larger view of what Caitlin Clark symbolizes the future of the sport. The Clark to wear number 17 at Team USA training camp on December 24. News wrote that Caitlin Clark will be taking up part in the training, which that's what we talked about in another video. Now this right here this came out this came out on the 24th. So these are the numbers, man. Head on over to Twitter and check this out real quick. So this is what was released right here. It says Lauren Betts. Oh no, here's the ages. Where's the number? Here we go, right here. So these are the numbers. Caitlin Clark. Let me blow this all the way up, man. I want to blow this all the way up so y'all can see this. So as y'all can see here, man, Caitlin Clark number will be changed. So who's wearing 22? Or if you guys remember, Michael Jordan wore number 45 in the Olympics. He can't, because it don't look like no one's wearing number 22. It's completed as if nobody else even wears this team's number 22. Let's take a moment to discuss the optics, since they're awful. This is the same Team USA organization that controversially excluded Caitlin from the earlier this year's Olympic roster. Keep in mind that it's the same company that stated they were giving priority to expertise and seasoned leadership, while the whole world of basketball watched in utter incredulity as the most well-known participant in women's basketball history was ignored. Additionally, now that they do bring her into the fold at last for what is the first training camp, what do? They deprive her of her famous number. Yes, that's not very good. Take a look. Actually, it's an absolute awful appearance. It's the type of appearance that leads people to believe that Team USA essentially doesn't comprehend Caitlin's enormous contribution to the sport, or even worse, they fully comprehend it, and they are actively, possibly even intentionally attempting to minimize it, because this is the fact that Team USA appears to be sadly absent. Correct. Caitlin Clark is now greater than Team USA. I don't mean to be disrespectful to Team USA or any of the other amazing athletes who have donned the red, white, and blue. That simply acknowledges the unparalleled influence on cultural transformation. Caitlin participated in women's basketball in only the last couple years. She's brought millions of new spectators for the sport. She has occupied venues that were previously only half full. She created women's colleges. WNBA basketball is a must-watch television, and a huge portion of that number represents the brand of that persona, 20. Thus, when Team USA compels her to alter that figure, even if it's only For a camp of training, they are basically telling all those new admirers that Caitlin contributed to the sport, that their relationship with her and her identity is irrelevant. That's the strong brand. Doesn't she have a developed identity? She has painstakingly made doesn't matter. Why? Due to Team USA's regulations. And regulations are regulations. And it doesn't matter if those regulations are completely nonsensical in this particular crucial context. And let's be completely honest, discuss another matter here. This isn't simply about Caitlin Clark's emotions or her brand. This has to do with optimizing the commercial appeal and expansion of women's basketball due to the fact that Team USA, whether she wants to acknowledge it or not, Caitlin Clark in a Team USA jersey with the number 22 would sell goods like crazy. Parents would be waiting in line at the block to purchase the shirts for their daughters who look up to Caitlin. Supporters would want for that collection thing that links her illustrious college and WNBA career to her global profession. However, Caitlin Clark is ranked 17th. Team USA jersey that will simply perplex folks. They will produce this strange gap between the player they are familiar with and adore, as well as the she is dressed in a uniform. Additionally, that disconnect, without a doubt, is going to cost Team USA money, regardless of whether they, either now or long later. Now, some may contend that this is just the way that international basketball works, that FIA possesses a unique collection of regulations, that Team USA has its customs, and that there is never a bigger player, more than the group. And you know what? However, under perfectly typical conditions, in fact, such argument may have some water. However, these are not typical conditions. We are not discussing a typical player in this situation. We're conversing about a person who has essentially altered the whole terrain of women's basketball. A person who has brought unparalleled focus and income to the activity. Someone who, regardless of Team USA, whether you like it or not, it's the unquestionable face of American women's basketball, correct? Right now. And the reaction has been just what you would anticipate. Quick, enormous, and harsh. Without a doubt, social media burst with criticism at that same moment. The roster with the updated numbers was released. Supporters were incensed. Analysts were utterly perplexed. Even those who typically don't invest in women's basketball were providing insight into how this choice is petty and absurd. Appeared because observing from the outside, and it appears that Team USA will out of its way to complicate matters for their greatest celebrity. What makes this what is even more annoying is that Team USA had a fantastic opportunity to do this correctly. Following the Olympic rejection earlier this year, they had the ideal chance to demonstrate their comprehension of Caitlin's value to both the national and sporting team initiative. They may have produced a huge fuss over bringing her into training camp, given her the deference she has merited, and proudly allowed her to wear the number that is associated with her whole professional life. Rather, they carried out the complete opposite. They handled her as simply any other participant, used their strict, unyielding regulations without any taking context into account, and fueled another totally superfluous